What if the first warning sign of Alzheimer's wasn't memory loss, but sleep loss? You've been tossing, turning, waking up tired, brushing it off as age. But what if your brain is trying to whisper before it forgets how? In today's longevity tale, we meet Robert, 68, a retired aerospace engineer from Seattle, still sharp, still proud of his mind. But lately something's off. He forgets names, loses focus, reread the same page. And worst of all, he can't sleep. My brain feels like an engine that won't shut off, he told me. And in the morning, it's like parts of me didn't come back. He's not tired, he's missing from his own mornings. Robert's not alone. Up to 50% of older adults experience disrupted sleep. But many don't realize it's not just tiredness. It might be the brain quietly calling out for help. Today, we'll uncover what shallow sleep is really doing to your memory, your mood, your mind, and what you can do gently to turn that early whisper into a second chance. Because of your clarity, your stories, your sense of self is still there. Let's go find them together. For decades, scientists believed that memory faded with age because of wear and tear, like old gears grinding down. But today, we know something deeper. Your brain doesn't just age, it changes based on how you sleep. At night, your brain isn't just resting, it's working. Like a quiet janitor after hours, it cleans house, flushing out waste proteins, sorting memories, and repairing the delicate pathways that help you think, remember, and feel. This vital cleaning process happens only during deep sleep, especially during the slow wave stage. And without it, mental fog sets in, memory starts to slip, and over time, more serious changes begin. That's where Alzheimer's starts. Not with a dramatic moment of forgetting, but with small breakdowns in the brain's nighttime housekeeping. The most dangerous of these is a sticky protein called beta-amyloid. It's always produced in the brain, but during deep sleep, your body clears it out. Without that sleep, beta-amyloid builds up like plaque in a pipe, quietly damaging memory centers like the hippocampus. A 2022 study in Nature Aging revealed a shocking truth. Poor quality sleep can raise the risk of cognitive decline by 32% in older adults. And a separate study at the University of Washington in 2023 showed that even just a few nights of sleep disruption can increase the buildup of beta-amyloid in healthy seniors. So yes, your restless nights, your strange dreams, your morning grogginess, they matter more than you think. They may not just be symptoms of aging. They could be signals, whispers from your brain asking for help. But here's the most important part. These changes aren't destiny. The brain is remarkably resilient. With the right habits, you can restore deep sleep and protect your memory in the process. That's the big idea I want you to hold onto today. When sleep declines, memory declines. But when sleep improves, your brain can heal, even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. And the path to that healing starts tonight. Let me take you back to a quiet evening in Seattle. Robert, 68 years old, sat across from me with a look I've seen too many times before. Not fear, but confusion. A once brilliant aerospace engineer, Robert used to remember serial numbers like poetry. But now, he struggled to recall names at dinner. He'd reread the same page in a book and not remember a word. At first, he brushed it off. "I'm just getting older," he said. But what worried him more than the forgetfulness was the silence at 2 a.m. lying in bed, eyes wide open, thoughts racing like an engine with nowhere to go. "I fell asleep just fine," he told me. "But then I woke up 2, 3 times a night, and in the morning I feel like I never slept at all." We ran every test. His heart was strong, no signs of stroke or vitamin deficiency. But one thing stood out, his sleep data. Like many older adults, Robert was no longer entering deep sleep. His brain was skipping the very stage it needed to heal and protect itself. What Robert didn't know, and what most people don't, is that this kind of sleeplessness isn't just uncomfortable. It's a quiet warning sign. Sleep disruption, especially after 60, can be the brain's earliest whisper of trouble ahead. Not just fatigue, but memory loss, confusion, even early Alzheimer's. Because the brain doesn't sleep, doesn't clean. Then there's Linda. She's 72, a retired librarian from a small town outside Columbus, Ohio. She didn't come to me because of memory loss, but because of something more subtle, a growing fear. I used to remember every grandchild's birthday, she said. Now I check the calendar 5 times and still forget what day it is. She also worried about forgetting whether she locked the door or turned off the stove. Not big things, but enough to make her uneasy. Her checkups were normal, blood work perfect, heart strong, but when I asked about her sleep, she paused. I wake up 4, sometimes 5 times a night, not from pain, just thoughts. We dug deeper. Linda realized she often went to bed after watching late-night news, with her mind full of worry about health, the world, and being alone. I suggested something gentle. A local meditation class offered every Wednesday morning at the Columbus Senior Center. It was called Stillness and Breath. She was skeptical at first. "I'm not really a yoga type," she joked, but she went, and she stayed. Within 3 weeks, Linda had replaced her nighttime news routine with a cup of chamomile tea and a few minutes of guided breathing from the Calm app. She told me, "For the first time in years, I don't dread bedtime." And the results? She still forgot small things now and then, but the anxiety lifted. She stopped triple-checking the door. She laughed more with her grandkids. And in her own words, "I feel more like myself. Not younger, but clearer." And then there was John, a 70-year-old former mechanic from Texas. Big laugh, bigger heart, but he kept dozing off at lunch. Sometimes he'd forget entire conversations. His wife noticed he'd snore loudly, then go silent, then gasp. That silence, we discovered, was sleep apnea, a condition that blocks oxygen and fragments deep sleep. Within a week of using a CPAP machine, John's words to me were simple. "Doc, it's like I woke up for the first time in years." 3 lives, 3 types of sleep disturbance, 1 shared truth. Memory loss doesn't always begin with forgetting. Sometimes it begins with the night. And the good news, each of them found a way back, not by chasing more hours of sleep, but by healing the quality of it. That's where true brain protection begins. So what's really happening inside your brain when sleep slips away? Think of your brain as a hardworking city. Every day it takes in information, processes emotions, stores memories. But like any city, it builds up waste. Thoughts you don't need. Stress that never got sorted. Proteins that, if left unchecked, can turn toxic, especially one called beta-amyloid. That's the same protein found in high levels in the brains of people with Alzheimer's. Here's the beautiful part. When you sleep deeply, your brain brings out its night crew, a natural system that washes away the waste, like a gentle rinse cycle for your thoughts and memories. Imagine your brain like a hardworking city. Every day it collects trash, stress, leftover thoughts, and sticky waste proteins. And just like a city needs garbage trucks, your brain has its own night crew. Scientists call it the glymphatic system, but you can think of it as your brain's cleaning team. This team only shows up during deep sleep. When you're in that restful state, your brain doesn't just relax, it gets cleaned. One of the most harmful wastes it removes is called beta-amyloid, a sticky substance that, if left behind night after night, can clog your memory pathways and increase your risk of Alzheimer's. So when you sleep deeply, you're not just resting. You're protecting your memory, your focus, and your future. But after 60, deep sleep becomes harder to reach. Your brain makes less melatonin. The waves that signal rest weaken. And even one bad habit, like too much screen time or a restless mind, can tip the balance. That's why sleeping 8 hours doesn't always mean you're truly resting. You might lie in bed all night, but if your brain never enters deep sleep, it's like charging your phone with a broken cable. The screen lights up, but the battery stays empty. And here's where the warning signs show up. You forget what you walked into the kitchen for. You rewatch a show and realize you've forgotten how it ended. You feel foggy, even after a full night's sleep. These aren't just aging, they're gentle alerts. Your brain is whispering, I didn't get what I needed last night. And it's not just about memory. Without deep sleep, your heart doesn't get its break, your liver can't detox, your mood dips, and over time, your brain may start to lose its natural resilience, becoming more vulnerable to long-term diseases like dementia. But here's the good news. The cycle can be broken. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware, to understand that sleep isn't just rest. It's how your brain takes care of you quietly every night. And when you honor that, gently, consistently, you give your future self a gift that no supplement can match: clarity, calm, and connection. Let's turn insight into action, because knowing the problem is only half the journey. The other half is hope, and it starts with 5 gentle changes that can help you sleep deeper, think clearer, and feel like yourself again. You don't need to fix everything overnight. Just begin, one small step at a time. First, reset your rhythm. Your brain listens to light like a conductor listens to music. It sets the tempo. But many older adults spend mornings indoors and evenings bathed in artificial glow. To guide your brain back into deep sleep, start with the sun. Step outside for just 15 minutes between 7 and 9 a.m. Even on cloudy days, let natural light touch your eyes. In the evening, dim your lights an hour before bed. No screens, no scrolling, just soft, amber tones that tell your brain the day is done. It might feel small, but it's powerful. Mr. Robert, 68, began each day with a walk around his neighborhood park. Within 2 weeks, his 2 a.m. staring contests with the ceiling were gone. Even 15 minutes of morning light, on your porch, at the mailbox, or walking your dog, can reset your brain's natural sleep clock. In fact, a recent Stanford study found that morning sun helps seniors fall asleep 30% faster at night. Second, nourish your gut, the quiet partner in sleep. Scientists call the gut the second brain, and it makes over 80% of your body's melatonin. But when it's inflamed, stressed, or out of balance, your sleep signal breaks. Think of prebiotics like fertilizer for the good bacteria in your gut. You don't need exotic foods or fancy supplements. Just grab a few familiar items from your local Walmart or Kroger. A ripe banana, a cup of plain oatmeal, a handful of almonds, or a glass of warm milk. You can also add cooked asparagus, onions, or a small bowl of sauerkraut to your dinner. Simple prebiotic-rich foods that help your gut produce the melatonin your brain needs. These gentle choices feed your gut, soothe your system, and support the sleep hormone your brain depends on. Think of it as bedtime, starting with dinner. Third, move gently by day so your body can rest by night. You may feel mentally tired, but if your muscles haven't worked, your brain won't feel ready to shut down. Just 10-20 minutes of light movement each morning, gardening, tai chi, even dancing to old music in the kitchen, can make all the difference. But avoid exercise after 5 p.m. It can keep you too alert. Before bed, try the 4-7-8 breath. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. You can follow along using free guided breathing on the Calm or Headspace app. They have senior-friendly versions with simple instructions. It slows your heart and quiets the nervous system. Evelyn, 66, practiced this every evening for 3 weeks. It's like I found the off switch, she told me. Now I fall asleep without fighting. Fourth, build a bedtime ritual. Think of it like tucking in your brain. Without a wind down, your body stays in work mode, heart racing, thoughts spinning. Pick 2 or 3 calming habits. Wash your face, turn on a soft bedside lamp, listen to calming music with the Calm app, or read a few pages from your favorite book. Real pages, not a screen. Or try a 10-minute guided meditation from the Calm or Headspace app. Both have senior-friendly versions with soft voices and nature sounds. Avoid news, work emails, or health research. Let your brain know you are safe and the day is over. Thomas, 70, used to fall asleep with the TV on. Now he ends his night with soft classical music and says he floats into sleep with peace instead of pressure. And finally, if sleep still doesn't come, don't force it. Get up. Shift the stage. Read in a different room, stretch gently, or sip warm tea. Lying in bed awake teaches your brain to associate sleep with frustration. But by changing the environment, you reset that connection. This isn't just a trick. It's the core of cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, known as CBTI. Harvard Medical School calls it the most effective treatment for long-term sleep troubles in seniors. For free CBTI guidance, check with local senior centers or visit Sleep Education. Org or AARP. Org many offer virtual or in-person programs designed just for older adults. 5 steps. Simple, gentle, doable. But together they rebuild something precious. Not just sleep, but the kind of rest that defends your mind, softens your heart, and carries your memories safely into the morning. Let's come back to Robert, the retired aerospace engineer who once lay awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling and feeling his memories slip away. When he first came to see me, he wasn't looking for a pill. He just wanted to feel like himself again. So I asked him 3 questions. Robert, do you still notice the sunrise? Do you eat dinner like someone in a rush, or like someone giving thanks for another day? And do you still greet sleep like a friend, or treat it like a switch you're trying to flip? He didn't say anything at first. Then his eyes welled up, not because of the questions, but because no one had ever asked him like that before. 2 months later, he came back, not with new medications, but with a sleep journal in his hand and a gentle pride in his step. He'd written down everything. The mornings he walked in the sun, the evenings he turned off his phone, the nights he did nothing fancy, just breathed, stretched, and let go. And next to those notes, he wrote one simple line. I remember more, I worry less, I sleep like I used to before all the noise. That's what I want for you, because sleep is not just the end of your day. It's the beginning of your brain's healing, of your memory's repair, of your heart's rest. You don't have to accept exhaustion just because of your age. You deserve to wake up feeling sharp, steady, and strong. To play with your grandchildren and actually remember the jokes you told them. To enjoy your morning tea without a fog in your mind. Tonight, take one small step, not for perfection but for protection. Dim your lights 30 minutes before bed. Open your curtains to let the morning sun in. Or join a gentle yoga or Tai Chi class at your local senior center. Many are free through YMCA or AARP. These aren't just habits, they're safeguards. Because every night of deep sleep isn't just about feeling better tomorrow, it's an investment in your brain years from now. Sleep well and you may remember more names. You may keep telling your stories. You may lower your risk of cognitive decline by as much as 30% according to recent studies. That's not just rest, that's prevention. So if something in today's story touched you, share it. With a friend who's been struggling. With a spouse who's been waking up at 3 a.m. with worry. Let them know. The path to healing doesn't start in a hospital. It starts in the quiet. in one gentle choice tonight, for a clearer tomorrow.